It is a Saturday, and you know what that means. It is TitleTown Throwdown here on all the Sports Fan Base Network. My apologies. That happens a lot on the Fans Only Sports Network. It is TitleTown Throwdown, and on the Fans Only Sports Network, I'm Nick LeBlanc. Welcome back to another exciting edition of TTT. A lot to get to. Let's just get ready to unpack it, man. So, MLB trade deadline has come and passed, and as you see scrolling on the bottom of your screen, yeah, Chicago unloaded, as did the Nationals. Mind you, these two ball clubs just recently won the World Series not too long ago. The Cubs back in 2016, and the Nationals just a couple of seasons ago in 2019. And as you also see on the bottom of your screen, or that you will see in a minute, the Red Sox have also traded Michael Chavis to the Pittsburgh Pirates in exchange for a reliever, Austin Davis. I do want to get in on the Red Sox trade deadline for a minute. Because I have to say, not all that impressed. I just feel that Kyle Schwarber was a nice addition, yes. Does it fill a need, a left-handed bat? Sure, yeah. It doesn't really fill much of a need, though. You need a first baseman. This team has no first baseman. You traded a qualified first baseman to Pittsburgh. Granted, his bat is just absolutely just stuck in 2019 somewhere. You can't seem to get him out of it. There's another guy who is in his first full season in the majors in Bobby Dahlbeck, who is having trouble with discipline. Fair. You got another guy, Jared Duran, who, granted, he's only been up here a couple of weeks. And people already were just willing to give up on him. It's like, well, Pedroia had a bad month and a half. How did that end for Pedroia? Right to the air, World Series title. No big deal. Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. Look, these guys are going to take time. All right, like they're going to take the time. What I just really wanted to see Cheyenne Bloom do here, what I really wanted to see him do, was be a little more aggressive, because apparently the Red Sox were all in on Max Scherzer and maybe a few other guys, and the LA Dodgers end up with Scherzer. The Padres end up with Daniel Hudson from the Nationals. It just feels like all the teams that are really in contention this year, both division and wild card, I don't know, man. It's just like, to me, it just feels like that the Red Sox weren't aggressive enough. It just feels like that they weren't aggressive enough to really make a huge move in order to make a splash. Now, I understand this team wants to stay, under the luxury cap, and, they still want to rebuild the farm system, which I think is working out pretty good so far. But what cost, though? You have a team here in Boston that is, granted, in a position that I don't think anyone expected them to be in, entering the year. I don't think anyone expected them. I don't think anyone expected that. But that still doesn't mean that you can't make a strong push to improve the current team that you have right now. Look, I know Chris Sale's coming back soon, but he's still going to be on a pitch count and an innings limit. We're not going to see full-blown Chris Sale for at least a year, for at least till 2022. Very least, maybe, playoffs, they take the training wheels off of Sale and let him go. Maybe. Maybe his final start of the season, if he gets one. I don't know. All I know is that Chris Sale's rehabbing today in Worcester. I believe he's going to have another rehab starter too. Both with the Woo Sox. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. But Chris Sale, his return is inevitable. His return is probably within the next 5 to 10, maybe 12 days. Within that area. But when it comes to right now, you still need another back-end rotation guy. I felt Danny Duffy could have been good. Granted, he's hurt right now, but his ass got shipped. I believe to the Padres. Just every contending team, both American and National League, made a move to improve their team, with the exception of the Boston Red Sox. Granted, I didn't see Houston make any moves, but who the hell does Houston really need? Let's be honest with that. Who the hell do the Astros really need? Do they need another guy to bang on a trash can? I know they're not getting rid of that crap anymore, but you never know. You never freaking know. The two pitching moves that the Red Sox made, okay, but how effective are these guys really going to be? Especially in the starting rotation where Rodriguez has struggled this year. Garrett Richards sucks. Nick Pivetta has one good outing, one bad outing. Martin Perez stinks. You're only of that 5-man rotation, the only capable starter that you have is Nate Eovaldi. He's the only competent guy. He's the only one that can throw a damn strike. Get a die out, strike a die out, go 1, 2, 3. Is Martin that guy? No. Is Erod that guy? He can be if his head's screwed on straight. Garrett Richards blows. Pivetta, I like him. He's not terrible. He's not bad. But he's also not really that huge of a thing either. Because really with the Red Sox, here's what it comes down to. Winning and losing. The Rays, and still include the Yankees in there. The Yankees improved. They got Joey Gallo from the Rangers. They got Anthony Rizzo from the Chicago Cubs. The Yankees filled needs that they needed to fill in order to try to compete and get back into that American League East race in the AL wildcard race. Not like they're ever out of the wildcard race to begin with, but the AL East, though, they get back at it unless the Red Sox start to kick it in gear. Because now the Red Sox are in one of these stretches in which they can't score no more than 3-5 runs. They save all their scoring for late in the game. When, in order to win at this level, you got to be able to score in all parts of the game. It's simple as that. Like, I don't know what else there is. So the Red Sox need to find some better consistency within their lineup, or else the Rays are going to win this division. the Yankees to get a playoff spot. Where will you be? Either second wild card or you're missing the October altogether. It's one of the two. Rizzo should be going to Boston. Rizzo probably should have came to Boston. But what did Bloom do? See his hands? He sat on them. You could have traded Jeter Downs for Anthony Rizzo. And essentially be like, oh, I just traded Mookie Betts for Anthony Rizzo. That sounds a whole hell of a lot better. Now, granted, I still think that Mookie Betts trade is up in the air. Because Carter Wong, he's doing okay in Worcester. You got a little nice look at him up here for a couple weeks. Jeter Downs, he's struggling at the AAA level. Alex Verdugo, though, oh, he's great. I love Verdugo. I absolutely love Alex Verdugo. Love him. What's best done for the Dodgers? Hey, he helped them win a World Series in a 60-game pandemic-shortened season. He struggled this year. And I think that's what we should be great on this year right now. Verdugo still on the up, playing on a rookie contract, I might add. Mookie Betts enjoying the first of a new 13-year deal, and he's struggling. So you can say that Betts trade is still up in the air. That's fine. Andrew Benintendi trade? I still feel you lost that because what have you really gotten out of those guys? Cordero, when he's up here, he can't hit the back end of a barn. He can tear the cover off in AAA. No problem. They bring him up here, he's hitting $180. $180, and he's not doing anything. So the Red Sox just have so many issues. So many issues. Anthony Rizzo could have fixed their first base problem, but instead, Bloom sat on his hands and watched him go to the Yankees. Joey Gallo is an option for first base. Again, sat on his hands, let him go to the Yankees. Bullpen option, Craig Kimbrell. Brought him back, having this combination between him, Ottavino, and Barnes. You let him go to the White Sox. Back end of the rotation guy, I still love, and I'm still so mad that this team got rid of him. Almost seven years after the fact, I'm still mad at this move. John Lester's on the Nationals. He was having a sneaky season. An outstanding season, no, but a pretty decent one, yeah. You could have gotten him back for peanuts. He left. I forget to where he went to. I believe he went to the San Diego Padres. Cardinals. All right, John Lester went to the Cardinals. So you lose out on these guys because you're not aggressive enough. You're not aggressive. You traded John Lester in 2014 to the A's for, what it says, but it's granted had a pretty decent 2 months here, then left for Detroit and then sucked. And went to the Mets and sucked even more. But at the time, though, you gave Lester up for basically peanuts because you didn't want to give him a long-term contract. Then you lowball him again in the offseason, but you finally gave him, somewhere at least close to market value. The Cubs gave him market value. That's why he signed with the Cubs. Signs for the Nationals just to latch onto a team. And now he's on St. Louis. The Red Sox dropped the ball on a lot of things. And I think Bloom dropped the ball on this deadline. I understand not selling the farm. Don't pull a Dombrowski, that's fine. But when your team is in first place, you got to do something. We're not the Tampa Bay Rays where they have very little to no fan base, and they don't give a rat's ass whether you're in first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. They don't give a crap. You're in Boston, a major market city where the fans expect you to win game in and game out. Win a World Series year in, year out. And you want to pull this small market crap of saying that given the position we're in right now, improving this team isn't a priority? I don't give a crap right now about 2025. I don't care about 2030, 2035. I don't care 10 to 15 years down the road right now. I care about within now and the next 5. Are you going to be a legitimate championship contender? Or are you just going to have a first place season, choke in the playoffs, followed by 4 consecutive mediocre to absolute garbage seasons? Because if that's going to be the way that this Red Sox team is going to operate, count me out. I want to see my teams win. Not just completely go rock freaking bottom. Watch them bottom out just to rebuild the farm system because that is where our future is. I don't care about the future right now. Last season, yeah, I cared about it. But a pandemic ruined all that, so congratulations. Did I expect much from Cora? No. All I knew is that he had job freaking security. But look at you, you're in first place. You're only a half a game up on the Rays. And you sat on your hands at the deadline and didn't get anybody that could possibly reasonably help this team. Besides Schwarber. I just do not want this team to develop the small market mentality because newsflash, Bloom, you're not in a small market. You're in Boston. You got to make moves in order to win. You can get away with this in Tampa. You can get away with it in Kansas City. Maybe St. Louis. You can get away with it in Cleveland or Cincinnati. You're not going to get away with it here. You're sure as hell not going to get away with it in New York, depending which New York franchise you are. Yankees, you're certainly as hell not going to accept that. The Mets, well, they've been in limbo for about 10 years now, so let's be honest. They've been in limbo. You're sure as hell not getting away with this with the Dodgers. Hell, God forbid. Angels, well, the Angels are the Angels. They're wasting Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani's careers as we speak. So those two guys aren't going to win a damn thing. And look, Trout and Ohtani, they can win all the MVP awards, Gold Gloves that they want. Those are nice rewards that you got your own credit for. But they're not going to win anything out in LA besides that. They're not going to win a pennant. They're not going to win a title. They're not going to win nothing. San Diego was wanting to go through this, and now they're ready. Houston went through this, and they're still a top competitive team, even though they didn't make the move because they don't really have to. They don't really have to. Should they have made a move? Maybe. But who cares about the Astros? I don't. Just everywhere around baseball, you can get away with the small market crap. You can't get away with it here. Not a chance. I want to switch gears to hockey now. Where the Bruins, they did make some free agent signings. So here are the list of brand new Boston Bruins here. And this is all on July 28th, so it has been quiet since Wednesday when free agency opened. Let's welcome to Boston goaltender Linus Ullmark. He recently played for the Buffalo Sabres. They signed him to a 4-year contract with an annual NHL cap hit of $5 million. In 20 games of the Buffalo Sabres last year, Ullmark posted a 9-6-3 record with a .917 save percentage and a .263 goals against average. Formerly of both the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Toronto Maple Leafs, welcome to Boston, Nick Foligno on a 2-year, $3.8 million contract. Foligno skated in 49 games for Columbus and Toronto last season, recording 7 goals and 13 assists for 20 points. Welcome, Eric Holla, formerly of the Carolina Hurricanes. He signed a 2-year, $2.375 million contract with the Red Sox. He actually played for Nashville this past year, but he is a former Hurricane and a former Golden Knight. Speaking of Golden Knight, welcome former Golden Knight Thomas Nosek to Boston. He signed a 2-year, $1.75 million deal with the Boston Bruins on Wednesday. In 38 games last season, the Vegas, he recorded 8 goals and 10 assists for 18 points and a plus-minus rating for a plus 7 rating. The Bruins did re-sign defenseman Mike Riley to a 3-year contract worth $3 million. That's about $1 million a season. Am I keen on Mike Riley being here? No. Not really, but I guess. The Bruins signed defenseman Derek Forbort to a 3-year contract worth $3 million. In 56 games with Winnipeg, he played all 56 games this season with the Jets. He recorded 2 goals and 10 assists for 12 points with a +1 rating. He is a 6'4" defenseman. He's appeared in 331 career NHL games with the Kings, Flames, and Jets, totaling 8 goals, 57 assists, and 65 points with a +8 rating. Bruins signed their draft picks. In a trade, the Bruins traded goaltender Dan Vladar to the Calgary Flames for a 3rd-round pick in 2022. But with the Ullmark signing, this should spell the end for Tuukka Rask here in Boston. Now listen. People here in Boston are, let's say, mixed about Tuukka Rask. Some say Rask is probably one of the better goaltenders that the Bruins have had, which, okay, fair. Others say that he just cannot win in the postseason. Again, fair. Understandable. One thing with Rask, though, this always really didn't sit right with me. And this kind of really started happening around the end of the 2015-16 season, heading into the following season, 16-17, prior to Cassidy taking over. And maybe you can even say 14-15 too. Just whenever the Bruins just had a really big game, a game that they just needed to win in order to make the playoffs, like was the case in 15 and 16, towards the end of those seasons. Big games, Bruins need to win in order to play postseason hockey. Tuukka Rask jumps ship. Whether he was sick, he tweaked an injury, he was tired. Whatever the case was, whenever the Bruins needed him, Tuukka Rask was not there. Granted, in 2014-15, he played 72 of the 82 games. He was exhausted. And rightfully so, because his backup goaltenders sucked. His backup goaltenders sucked. So you have that. You have that. 15. Oh, I got a tummy ache. I had to miss the final game of the season and watch my team get blown out by the Ottawa Senators and miss the playoffs. Really, guy? Really? Okay. 2017, I think he was there in 17. Towards the end of 16, 17, I think he was there mentally. Physically, I think, he was still a little rundown, but the team was playing better in front of him, which was able to get him to calm down and play a little bit better himself. So, I'll give him that. 2018, that Tampa Bay series, after that first game, he just seemed out of sorts. Like, he wasn't zoned in. He wasn't tuned in. Then at the end of the fall of the next season, he takes time away from the team to figure himself out. Like, huh? I mean, it worked out. I mean, Tuukka Rask was absolutely phenomenal the rest of that season and into the playoffs up till about maybe the final series of the year, where he struggled to stop the puck. But granted, the Bruins also had trouble scoring goals too in 19. So there you go. 2020 was kind of really the last straw for me. Because, he agrees to go into the bubble. He gets himself ready. But his comments were like, oh, we're coming back? Oh, I might as well start training. What have you been doing since March? It's like last year. March of last year. Between March and we guys finally came back at the beginning of August. Even though he had that little training camp and all that other sorts, whatever you have it. What the hell were you doing from between mid-March to mid-July? What were you doing during that 4-month span? What, just sit on the couch doing nothing, watching TV? Movies? Start drawing cookies? Like, what were you doing? Playing golf? Just the bubble playoffs in 2020. He was not there at all. He was there physically. Mentally, he was not there. And then he leaves halfway through a playoff series. And that just sat. Now, look, we know the reason now. All right? Starter out of medical. Just say that. Just say that. My daughter had a medical emergency. I had to leave. Okay, fine. Say that. If you say that the first time, we would get off your ass. But when you said that, this mental thing came up before the bubble playoffs, you had the option to not go. The NHL and the Bruins gave you the option to say, hey, I don't want to go because of this, and that. Everyone will be like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Because at first you made it sound like, oh, she had this mental thing when low after I left. Okay. We would have been like, all right, yeah, that's fine. No, go take care of your daughter. If you're able to come back, we'll gladly keep you back. But then he contradicts himself saying, oh, wait a minute. This actually happened prior to the bubble. Then why did you agree to go into the bubble then, dummy? You wasted your time. You wasted the Bruins' time. You wasted your teammates' time. And what did that get you? A lot of people to just question your commitment. even more. And now, beginning this year, you say, I want to come back, be the number one goalie. You didn't play bad this year. You weren't bad. You know. No, your injury did not help. Your injury did not help things. You missed so much time because of the injury. Then when you came back, you just looked shaky. Right? You looked good in the Washington series. You did not look good against the Islanders. You did not look good against them at all. But then, after the season, you say, oh, you really say a couple things, Tuta. You say, oh, yeah, I needed surgery on my hip. Something that I've been putting off since August of 2020. What? Oh, but I still want to come back to the Bruins, though. See what my market value is. What? First off, you say that you need surgery on your damn hip. And you said that you're going to be out to January, February, but you still want to be the starting goaltender for the Bruins when you come back. We don't have time to wait for your happy, sorry ass until February, January. We don't have time to wait for you that long. No, it's either you're ready to go now or you're ready to go next year. You're not ready to go for either, buddy. Jeez. Do I like the Allmark signing? Yes. I think it'll be a good goalie tandem between him and Jeremy Swayman. Because of all four goaltenders the Bruins had last year between Halak, Rask, Swayman, and Vladar, where are they all now? Well, Swayman is on either the protected or unprotected list because he was ineligible to get drafted. So count your lucky stars on that one. Rask, free agent. Halak, free agent. Vladar is now with the Flames, where he'll get his real opportunity with the Flames, and I wish him the best. I hope Halak latches on with the team. He's pretty good, too. But Tuukka Rask, I don't know what team's going to want to sign you right now, given the fact that you've had surgery on your hip and you're going to be out till at least January, February. That's 50 to 60% of the season that you're already missing. No team's going to waste their time with you. You're only going to get signed is if it's a desperation move. That's it. That's it. Other than that, they used to stand on your ass at home in Finland because that's where you're going to be. That's where you're going to be. Speaking of return home, it was reported earlier that the Bruins were going to re-sign David Krejci, and they did. And I thought that was going to be a great move. Yesterday, David Krejci announces that he's leaving the Bruins and the NHL altogether to go back to the Czech Republic. Now, it was shocking to me, but I meant to pop up a statement earlier. I meant to save it, but a lot of things went on. So I'm going to read you the statement from David Krejci right now that he said yesterday. In a 4-part statement, David Krejci reads, in January of 2007, when I pulled the black and gold sweater on for the first time, I was 20 years old and was almost 4,000 miles away from home. Since then, you have embraced me as a Bostonian. I have given everything that I've had to you in the Bruins, and over Boston. And over time, Boston has become a second home to me. I met my amazing wife Naomi here, and our 2 beautiful children call Boston home. This city and your support are special to me. The Bruins organization has always treated me with the utmost respect. I am so thankful for my teammates, the trainers and support staff, coaches, and management who've allowed me to be part of so many great teams. Obviously, the 2011, 13, and 19 teams stick out, but truthfully, I have loved every Bruins team I have been part of. Since the end of the season, as I have thought about my future, it has become clear that I need to make a difficult decision for my family and I. At this point in my career and life, I need to return to the Czech Republic and play in front of my family who sacrificed so much to help me achieve my NHL dreams. I want to play in front of my parents, brother, and friends. I want my children to live where I grew up, spend time with so many Czech family members who love them and create lifelong memories. So for now, I want to thank all the Bruins fans for the support they have shown my family and I over the last 14 years. I will forever be thankful. This is not goodbye. I will not be a stranger. I will be a Bruin forever. I will see you at the TD Garden soon, and I will always bleed black and gold. With gratitude, David. Look, did I get annoyed David Krejci a lot? Yes. But was Krejci a major key to that set line with him, Taylor Hall, and Craig Smith down the stretch of the year that took a big, nice load off of both Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak? Yeah, that's the most relevant I've seen David Krejci in years because he got him a competent winger. And look, do I understand his decision? Yeah, I do. Look, do I think David Krejci should come back to the NHL whenever he wants to? Sure. Will he always have a spot on this Bruins team? Absolutely. Do I think he's ever going to come back? Probably not. So I think Game 6 against the Islanders was the last time we see David Krejci put on an NHL uniform. Particularly a Bruins uniform. He spent his entire career here in Boston. He got drafted from 2006 to now. A fantastic 14-year career here in Boston. And a guy like him is going to be missed. So what can I say? All right, want to move on to some football news now here. Lot to unpack. So Aaron Rodgers ended his stalemate with the Packers. He showed up to training camp. They restructured his deal, and they reacquired Randall Cobb from the Houston Texans. I think all that is just to... I think trading for Cobb was a necessity because you haven't had a solid receiver since Cobb in 3 years. But also it's just to keep the guy happy. I mean, look, it's not like he wasn't going to give 100% effort anyway. I mean, he said so in his press conference, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't 100% all in. He's there. He's going all in, which means he's going to put in 100% effort. So how did they get it? Well, they reworked his deal. The final year of his current contract, 2023, is voided. The Packers and Rodgers are going to reassess the situation at the end of the season. If Rodgers' feelings towards the organization change, Rodgers will most likely stay in Green Bay for 2022, which would be his absolute final season in Green Bay. The same is for Randall Cobb as well. 2022 could potentially be his final year. But the Packers, as a concession, are going to let Aaron Rodgers choose where he wants to go at the end of the 2022 season, who he wants to be traded to. So it's obvious that, yes, the Packers do want to move on from Jordan Love. Want to move on to Jordan Love. They want to do that. Rodgers said so in his press conference that if you're ready to move on to Jordan Love now, let's just go ahead, trade me, and move on. The Packers didn't do that because they said that they were committed to Aaron for 2021 and beyond. Who knows about the beyond now? What we do know is that he's here for 2021 and he's here to stay for 2021. Now, do what the Rodgers has done in Green Bay after this year? Yes. Are we going to talk about that right now? No. We're going to put all the Aaron Rodgers drama to bed because I knew he was going to return to Green Bay one way or another. And, if a team was going to seriously trade for him, I think they would have blown away the Packers with an offer by now and he'd be there. Like Denver, like Vegas, like New Orleans. I don't know. I really don't know. So, I don't know. The whole Rodgers-Packers drama, it's just something that I think they can still resolve and find a nice, good outcome. But I am glad, though, that Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. All right, so Desean Watson, he showed up to Texans camp despite all the allegations going on with him, and the Texans are just letting him do Desean Watson. Watson seems he's committed to play for Houston as well, despite the trade request. Good luck with that, with all your allegations, dude. I don't know if you're gonna survive this season. I don't know if you're gonna survive camp. Because he could be put on the commissioner's exempt list at any day. Look, right now, Deshaun Watson playing, Houston has a shot. Without Deshaun Watson, Houston has zero shot. So I'm just going to put it to you bluntly there. Now, I want to move on to our local 53 to kill the show. Training camp is opened. We've seen some guys. We've seen how Hunter Henry's looked. We've seen how Jonnu Smith looks. All eyes are on Cam Newton and Mac Jones. Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Patriots in 2021? I have said this since Jones has been drafted. I have remained consistent on this, and I am going to continue to remain consistent on this. Cam Newton is going to be the starting cornerback, despite Mac Jones being the better option. It's Bill Belichick. He's going to go with the security blanket to be safe. And the security blanket is Newton. Because Newton has been a starting quarterback in the NFL for many, many years. Has he won a damn thing? Besides an MVP? No. Look, people, let's think about this too. Let's flash back 18, 19 years ago. When the scrawny guy, Tom Brady, bulked up in the offseason, worked his ass off and became the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart behind the number 1 overall pick in 1993, Drew Bledsoe. Okay? Bledsoe goes down. Brady takes over. When Bledsoe was healthy, Belichick could have easily went back to Bledsoe, sat Brady down, and then traded Brady the following offseason. He could have done that. Could have done Brady a favor. He did do Brady a favor. Stuck with Tom Brady. Did Drew Bledsoe a favor, sent him to Buffalo, and Drew Bledsoe finished out his career silently, not winning a damn thing. Not winning a thing the rest of his career. But the opposite could have very well happened. Belichick could easily stop Brady again for Bledsoe and watch Bledsoe go on to win the Super Bowl with the Patriots. And then Brady would have been sent elsewhere, where he probably would have been probably a good quarterback on just a really bad team and one of one dick. Let's be realistic there. But no. So now, flash forward to here. You got a quarterback who's all intents and purposes washed up, but he could surprise you. Versus a guy who just got drafted back in April. The first round pick quarterback the Patriots have selected since Mac Jones. Not Mac Jones. Drew Bledsoe back in 1993 when you had the first overall pick. Think about that. 28 years, he didn't need a quarterback. Granted, he needed one in 2020, but he settled on Newton late June, early July. Look, Matt Jones should easily outperform Cam Newton in camp. It's not that hard to do. Will it really mean anything at the end of the day? No, because Cam Newton will most likely still be the starting quarterback come week 1 against the Miami Dolphins. Do I personally feel that Mac Jones is the better option? Yes. Mac Jones is the better option than Cam Newton. Is it going to happen? Probably not. I hate to say it, but probably not. Will Mac Jones start at some point this year? Yes, he will. Is it going to be right away? No. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait for Mac Jones. We're just going to have to wait for Mac Jones to start. That's really plain and simple. Whether Jones's time comes now, whether it comes later, I don't know. But Cam Newton's going to be the starter for at least the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. And after that, reevaluate where you're at. I don't know. I really don't know. So, it's still early in training camp. All 32 camps are open. There's now going to be news surrounding everyone. One last little tidbit I want to get to as we wrap up TitleTown Throwdown for this week. Carson Wentz got injured again in practice. He injured his foot. Colts expect him back this season. When? I don't know, because right now that foot injury could cost him all of preseason. Probably half of the rest of camp. And maybe even leak into the regular season. And look, Carson Wentz, he's a good quarterback. He just can't stay healthy. And when you can't stay healthy as a quarterback, no matter what, everyone's just going to look, your numbers are decent, but everyone's just going to look back, well, the numbers could have been better if he wasn't hurt. And that's true. Your numbers could be better if you weren't constantly hurt, but you're constantly hurt. So here we are. All right, we got plenty of time talking NFL news. As the NFL season's just about heating up now, as we're going to get into preseason games next week. How about that? NFL preseason right around the corner. All right. That's TitleTown Throwdown for this week. I'm Nick LeBlanc. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Hopefully some more. Hopefully the Red Sox are turning around. Battling for first place. We get some more Patriot updates. Rather than just talking about Cam Newton and Mac Jones, and now combine both names. Jesus. All right. Thank you for watching TitleTown Throwdown on Native Sports and the Fans Only Sports Network. My mind is in 8 different directions today. All right, but thank you for watching. I'm Nick Blanc. We'll see you next week.